Good afternoon and welcome to your weekly personal finance segment. We continue to take a look at employer benefits and looking beyond just health insurance. Today our focus will be on group disability insurance. Joining me as usual is Michael Keating of InnerHarbor Advisors. Mike, good afternoon. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Remy. With it being so hot outside, I'm especially glad today to be indoors.
And indeed, it is cooler here at the New York Stock Exchange than it is outside. Now, today we'll take a look at group disability insurance, and this could protect one of your most important assets. And although none of us think that we'll ever be disabled or face anything in the short term, they do say that hindsight is 20/20. So can you tell me about the most popular causes or highest causes of disability and what they are?
Oh, definitely. But first of all, Remy, right in the beginning, you hit on a really important sentence, so I want to run through it again. When we talk about insuring our assets, it's often engagement rings, artwork, cars, homes, things of that nature. Those are assets for sure, but for most people, for the majority of Americans, the most valuable asset that they own is their ability to earn a living. Disability insurance is insurance that protects that asset. If at some point you become disabled and are unable to perform your tasks at work, you're unable to earn a living, disability insurance steps in and makes payments on that. So getting back to your initial question about causes of disability, I think it's important to point out that when most people think of disability, and at first glance they think, well, I don't do anything dangerous anymore. I don't go skiing anymore. I don't skateboard. I don't play team sports, so why do I need disability insurance? Well, injuries are actually the fourth most common cause of long-term disability. It's things like cardiovascular situations, muscular skeleton, and specifically things like diabetes or cancers. Those are the most common cause of disability, not injuries.
And Mike, you just mentioned the top causes for disability, but could you differentiate between some of the causes for short-term disability versus long-term?
Sure. So now short-term disability is something that's generally going to be considered for about 90 days. And short-term disability is some of the things that I mentioned initially. So if you get injured, you turn your ankle playing basketball, for example, or you get injured skiing, or you get injured at home, those are going to last only about 90 days. And for most people, the financial impact from that, it's not going to be something that they look forward to, but the financial impact from that is not going to affect their life picture.
And Mike, this is a segment that we cover in terms of employer benefits. So if you're an employee of an organization and you receive benefits, you can take advantage of this. Is that correct?
That's right, and that's why we talk about a group disability policy. So when an employer offers disability insurance, it's through a group plan. Now, what makes a group plan attractive is that it's very easy. A group disability insurance policy is easy to sign up for. So it's offered through work, so for most people, they just walk down to the benefits department or human resources and fill out the form. There's often no medical exam required for that, and it's often, because it's a group policy, it's going to be less expensive than an individual policy. So those are some of the benefits to a group disability policy.
Well, Mike, I think you highlighted some of the benefits as well as advantages, but there are some restrictions as well as tax benefits. Is that right? There
are. So when it comes to a group disability policy, first of all, we want you to have a disability insurance. That's the first thing. When it comes to a group disability policy, that many of the people who walk into my office will say, I have disability insurance through work. So what do you have? You have a group disability policy that has some, it's not tailored to the individual, and there are two things to keep in mind for that. Will it pay, or is it a very restrictive type policy? So that's the first thing to keep in mind. Here's the one that I find the most important. Is that disability policy portable? So it could be a great disability insurance policy, but will you be at that employer forever? What if you get laid off? What if you decide to leave? And at that point in time, are you able to get your own policy, or is there a health issue that has since happened to you where you're unable to get disability insurance? So is it portable is one of the questions that we ask our clients almost every time they say they have a policy through work.
And Mike, last but not least, so we've highlighted the advantages of having this type of insurance, but being in your position, I'm sure that you've seen the good as well as the bad of having this or not having this. So do you have any stories to share with us?
You know, for most of the clients that we speak to, they overlook disability insurance. So as far as stories go, clients come in and they want life insurance. That's the thing we think about, right? Life or death is very binary, but disability is the gray in between. We've had clients who have been close to buying a disability policy through us individually, and in particular one, we asked him, are you certain that your employer doesn't offer it? And he turned to the person next to him and said, do we have disability insurance through work? And it turns out they did. He had to hang up the phone and come right back to me and said, Mike, I'm sorry, we already have it through work, and apparently it's a good policy. From my perspective, that's a win. We want our clients to be covered, and disability is something that often gets overlooked.
Well, Mike, you never know when something minor may happen, so thank you very much for highlighting this very important type of group benefit.
You're welcome. Thanks, Remy.